We've been looking at Hammurabi's code and seeking to do a short inductive Akkadian grammar based on the epilogue of Hammurabi's code and seeking to show biblical parallels to that. One of the things that I want to say, if you will go to the first video that we did and click on the hyperlink, show more, it'll connect you with the PDF, the short Akkadian grammar, inductive Akkadian grammar that we did. And we're just talking through that and sharing from my work on that in these videos. And so one of my friends was kind enough to put that on a hyperlink, and hopefully that'll help to follow along in our audio and video discussion. So last time, as we're working through Hammurapi's epilogue, we stopped at line 29. And if I could just summarize it, Dinat misharum shahamarapi sharum leum kinuma. That is, the laws of justice which Hammurabi, a competent king, set up. Matan usam kinam uridam damkam ushats bitu. And he caused the land, we could say, reliable direction and good conduct, he caused to seize or secure the land in that way. Hammurapi sharum gitmalu manaku anat salmat kakadim sha inlil ishrukam. In other words, we rendered that Hammurapi, the perfect king, I am, to the black-headed ones, the black ones of heads, literally, which Enlil gave to me. And then also we go on, Re Ushina Marduk Idana, and their shepherd Marduk committed to me. He wants to say, I was not negligent, and I did not throw down my arms, but I was busy being a good king, he's saying. Ul egu achi ul adi. I was not negligent, and the arms I did not throw down. Asri shumim eshteshinashi, that is, places of well-being, I sought them out. Pushki washtutim upeti, and hard difficulties I untie or I loose. Nuram usha si shinashim, light I caused to rise. Ina kakim danim, with the strong weapon. Shazababu u Ishtar ushat limuni, which Zababa and Ishtar loaned to me. With wisdom, ina igigalim sha iya ishima, with wisdom which Ea ordained to me, and then ina leutim, with the ability, we're told, Sha Marduk idinam, which Marduk gave to me. So that's where we stopped last time. And I'd like to pick up and do a few more lines of the epilogue of Hammurapi's code. Again, if you would like to follow in a PDF, go to the first video that we did, go down to where it says show more, click on that, and you'll find a link that will connect you to the PDF that's available on Google Books. And there's no charge, it's all free. So as we move on, it reads, Nakri elish ushaplish asuch. That is, the enemies above and below I tore out, Hammurapi is saying. And as we look at this, notice we have the Nakri, which is from Nakrum, meaning enemies, and it's a genitive plural with the I and the macron accent over it. So I tore out the enemies above and below. We have two adverbs, elish, shaplish, and then we have the verb asuch. And asuch is from nasahum, and basically that verb is a G preterite, first masculine singular from nasahu, to tear out. Notice that A is showing at the beginning that we're looking at a first person singular, and the root is nasahu. And here we have what in Hebrew would be like a pay noon verb. We have a noon, nasahu, that has assimilated into the second S. And so again, a G preterite, first masculine singular from nasahu, or first, I should say, first person singular from nasahu. I tore out. And then as we go on, after describing what he did there, kablatim ubeli, I cause to extinguish, literally, of war. And I'm taking kablatim as a genitive with the im ending. And then ubeli is from belum. And basically, it means, the way I'm translating it here, to extinguish. It is a D preterite, first common singular from belu. It's a weak verb with the final u ending. And notice you have your doubling of your L, of your middle radical, like in Hebrew, where often the middle radical, well, it does always double in what we call the PL stem. The D preterite reminds me in many ways of the PL stem in Hebrew, more of the intensive stem. So as we go on, he says, I cause of war to extinguish, from belum, to extinguish or put out. Notice, shirmatim utiv, the flesh of the land I made glad. Notice shir is the word from shirum, meaning flesh, and it is what we might call in construct with matim. Matim is from the noun matum, meaning land, and it is a genitive singular, so the flesh of the land. It reminds me in Hebrew of Hebrew grammar, like Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God. When you have two nouns back to back, we call them two nouns in construct. Similar thing here in Akkadian, I believe. So the flesh of the land, utiv, I made glad. Utiv is from the root tiabu, to make glad. And it is interesting, as we look at this root, it is a D preterite again. Notice that U is giving it away as a D stem. Again, first common singular from tiabu. And we have that, basically that macron over the end of this verb, showing that there has been a coalescing or bringing together of tiabu, the I and the A. So as we read on, notice he says, not only did I make glad the land, but nishi dadmi aburi usharbits. That is, the places or in places of river ways or water, the water meadows, we could say, I caused to recline. I caused the peoples. And so again, as we look at the sentence here, nishi is the accusative plural of nashum, meaning peoples, and dadmi aburi is the genitive in genitive plural, we would say in places of waterways or in waterway places. U sharbits, I cause to rest. And notice u sharbits is a sheen, a preterite, first common singular from rabadzu. Rabadzu means to cause to rest. So it's a sheen preterite, first person singular, because he is bragging about what he's done. I cause to rest or lay down. What is interesting, as we said, the dadmi aburi is genitive plural in these nouns with the I suffix. And I've thought, as a Hebrew teacher, of Psalm 23, verse 2, concerning Yahweh, Adonai ro'i lo eksad benot desha yad bitseni, where it says that I am the shepherd. Adonai ro'i, the Lord is my shepherd. And then benot desha yad bitseni, in green pastures or in pastures of grassy knoll, he causes me to recline. And here we have yad bitseni, and I'm thinking here we have a cognate in Hebrew of rabatsu. That is, Hammurapi is claiming that he is causing the peoples to recline or rest in, can I say, watering meadows or water meadows in those places. And so in the Hebrew Bible, especially chapter 23 of the Tehillim, of the Psalms, we have the same root is being used, where it says in pastures of green grass, yad bitseni. And it's interesting, it is a hifil in Hebrew, imperfect third masculine singular with a pronominal suffix. And so again, we have a causative idea in Hebrew, and with the sheen stem here, it's interesting, we are looking at a causative in Akkadian. So really, Akkadian is very important to understand Hebrew, especially cognate uses, I think, like this. So then, as we move on, it says, Mugalitam ul ushar shinati. In other words, to one who would disturb, indeed, I punish them. And as we look at these words, notice that to one who would disturb, I punish them. As I'm looking at this in the Akkadian, it is interesting that he's going to judge those that would disturb and bring disturbance. And mugalitam, I'm understanding as a D participle, masculine singular, to the one who would disturb. Indeed, ul, I punish them. And ushar shishinati, notice the root here, I believe we're looking again at a sheen stem from the root rashu, which in the sheen stem can mean to punish. And we have shinati, which is your pronominal suffix, third plural. So I punished them. And then he goes on, dinger galgal. By the way, remember dinger is the sign of a god or gods here. And gal means great, lugal, like a great man, meaning a great king in Sumerian. So the great gods, Illu Rabutum Ibuninima, the great gods called me, or literally called to me. It is interesting that as we go back to this expression in line 41, Ibuninima, I am understanding this as a G preterite, third masculine singular, third plural, masculine plural, from nabu, meaning to call, plus a dative suffix to me, followed by the conjunction ma, which comes at the end of these collection of words. So the great gods, they called. And by the way, that u with the macron is indicating a plural, and the root, again, is from nabum, to call. It, again, we have assimilation. It's like a paynoon verb. Nabu becoming, again, ibbu. We're doubling the in with the b, again, by assimilation. So the great gods called to me, and we have the dative in the neem, and anakuma, I indeed became. Anaku meaning I. And notice we then come to line 43. Sipa mushalimu, I became the shepherd who brings salvation. And Sipa, capital S-I-P-A, is your Sumerian and rendered in Akkadian by the Akkadian scribes as Re'um. It's a nominative singular, shepherd, and so I am the shepherd. Notice the ending is indicative of the nominative. I became, we could understand here, the shepherd who brings order or who brings salvation. Mushalimun. Again, mushalimun, I'm understanding as a D participle, masculine singular, from mushalimun, from shalamu, to bring salvation or to bring peace. In Hebrew, we have that same thought. The Lord is the good shepherd who brings peace. And I'm thinking of the New Testament as a Christian minister, that in John 10, Jesus is the good shepherd who brings peace and gathers believers as his sheep in John 10, verse 3. So it's interesting for me anyway to look at biblical Hebrew parallels and New Testament parallels as well, or New Testament, can I say, application. So as we move on, it says Shah Hatashu, whose scepter. And notice Shah is your relative pronoun, and Gidri, the capital G-I-D-R-I, is the Sumerian word for scepter. Hatum is shepherd, and notice whose literally his scepter. And that shu is a pronominal suffix, third masculine singular, with the shu here. So whose, his scepter, referring to Hammurapi about himself, is righteous. Isharat. And notice Isharat is interesting. It is a G-stative, feminine singular from Esheru, E-Shin-E-R-U. And so Isharet, I'm understanding as a G-stative feminine singular from the verb Esheru. So he goes on then in discussing himself, as he says, basically, whose scepter, the shepherd who brings order or salvation, is really what I'm about, Hammurapi is saying. And then my good shadow is spread over the city. Would be Tzili Tabum Ana Aliyah Taritz, which is interesting because he is claiming that his shadow is over the city and it protects his city. And notice the E suffix is first person pronominal suffix in the Tzili, and from the Akkadian Salum. So my shadow, and notice the adjective tabum, my good shadow, and then we have the preposition ana, which takes the genitive, is over the city of me, or my city. Aliyah from alum, and notice the I is giving it away as a genitive singular here, and Yah is a first person pronominal suffix. So my good shadow is over the city is spread. And taris, T-A-R-I-S with the dot under the S, is what we would parse as the gestative, third masculine singular from taratsu, which means to spread over. So my shadow is spread over, my good shadow is spread over my city. And then he goes on in the next phrase to say, Ina utliya nishi mat shumerim u akadim ukil. That is, in my bosom, the peoples of the land of Shumer and Akkad I carried. Or I carried, and then here we have the direct object in the accusative plural, the peoples of the land, nishi mat. We have then two nouns in construct. And by the way, mat is the Sumerian kalam, which means land, capital K, capital A, capital L, capital A, capital M, and brought into Akkadian as mat from matum. So my bosom, though, the peoples of the land of Shumer, I carried, and Akkad, Akkadim. One of the things that is interesting here is Ina utliya. Ina utliya. Ina is a preposition taking the genitive. And notice we translated this in my bosom. Utliya is a noun genitive singular with the pronominal suffix first common singular from utlu, meaning bosom, utlu. And Hammurapi says, I carried my people as a shepherd. And my mind, as a Hebrew teacher of an Old Testament, goes back to Isaiah 40, where Yahweh is pictured carrying the returning exiles in his bosom as a shepherd carries the sheep. And so again, to me, there is a very interesting parallel between Akkadian and Isaiah chapter 40. So I think we will stop here today at Akkadim ukil, which means I carried. And so it would be good, I think, to stop here and then pick it up next time, continue on in our study of inductive Akkadian grammar. I would also like to say, if anyone is interested, I'm doing an inductive Hebrew grammar and Greek grammar. The title of that would be what I would call inductive Christological Hebrew grammar for Hebrew, and in New Testament Greek, Koine New Testament Greek, the title is, again, inductive Christological Greek. My point is that, as a Christian minister, I look at the Hebrew scriptures, and especially the Messianic text that I see through New Testament lenses, and want to go through them and have gone through them. They're out on PDF on Google Books, if anyone would be interested in looking at them. And also, I'm putting them out in videos. We're looking at a number of Hebrew texts, Isaiah 53, Psalm 22, looking at every word grammatically, like we're doing here in Akkadian. And then the same way in the Greek, John 1, 1-18, and so forth. So I just wanted to give that as an aside. If maybe ministers might be listening to this, or others that would have an interest in the Hebrew and the Greek. Thank you for this time, and we'll stop there. And next time we'll move on in this inductive study. Let me encourage you to go to the first video that we did and hit where it says show more, and you can connect with by that hyperlink with what has been put up, which my friend put up. You can connect with it and follow along, or even copy it off and follow along as we are working through this text word by word, trying to teach grammatical insights from an inductive perspective. Thank you, and till next time, we'll stop there and then pick up where we've stopped.